And so like I said, I didn't really know a lot about love. I didn't know what love was. So I didn't understand that God would reveal himself to me out of love. But I just said, Lord, I said, look, my life is useless. I haven't accomplished anything. All I keep doing is getting kicked out of school, and bad things just keep happening in my life. I don't even know how I survived to the age of 16. And my life just keeps getting worse. I said, if you want it, you could have it. That was my almost, like, maybe that wasn't my exact, but that was like my exact words to the Lord. Were like, if you want it, you can have it. And I gave my life to Jesus that day. And I wanted just to paint a better picture of this. I want to tell you, after I got saved and gave my life to the Lord Jesus Christ, I began to walk with him, and he began to do a ton of healing. Like, I was really angry. He took all my anger from me, like all of it. So I stopped fighting, and then he began to teach me through the word how to handle things. And he began to heal and talk to me and minister to me until eventually I'm the man that I am today. Having said that, like, I want to tell you, he showed me at one point in my walk with him what my life was like from his perspective. I love his perspective because it's the best perspective you could see. And like he gave me a vision, and in the vision, like, I'm walking, and out of nowhere as I'm walking, a chain comes and attaches itself to my arm. And I'm looking at the chain. I'm like, wow, there's a chain on my arm. Well, I'll just take it off. Not a big deal. So I take my other hand and I grab the chain. And as I'm trying to take the other chain off, another chain comes to my arm. And then now both my arms have chains. And I'm like, wow, both my arms have chains. Not a big deal. I'll probably get them off, just two chains. So I take this arm that's already chained up and I try to get this chain off. And when I try to get this chained off, another chain comes. And then eventually, like, I'm struggling with these chains. And what happens is eventually, throughout the course of this struggle, every time I pull or grab, another chain comes and another chain comes. And symbolically, what meant was like God had seen the struggles I was dealing with. And every time I tried to fix my problem, I just made it worse. And that's what my life was like. I kept trying to fix my life, and I just kept making it worse. And it was getting worse and worse and worse and more out of control and more out of control. And eventually, I'm glued to the floor. I'm stuck to the floor. And as every breath I take, the chains are getting tighter. Now, I want you to imagine when an anaconda constricts. Anacondas are pythons, so they constrict. That's how they kill their prey. And what happens is if an anaconda bites something, like something it's trying to constrict, it wraps around it. Now, the initial constriction is not what kills the prey. What happens is, in order to breathe your chest, you have to inhale air, and it makes your chest bigger. Then you exhale air, and it makes it smaller. But what happens is when you exhale and an anaconda is constricting you, it tightens so that next time you can't inhale. So now the anaconda is constricted, so you can only inhale like this a little bit because your chest won't push all the way up to allow the air in because the anaconda's muscles are keeping it constricted. And eventually what happens is anacondas kill their prey through asphyxiation. Their prey suffocates because eventually it won't be able to expand any of its body to inhale any air. And that's exactly what these chains were doing to me. They were slowly asphyxiating me. And the Lord showed me that what happened was it got to a point where I just almost couldn't breathe anymore. Like where the enemy, all this stuff was the enemy. The devil had a plan for me, just like God had a plan. The enemy was right there attacking me at different places in my life, trying to keep me off balance, trying to suffocate me essentially, so that the things that God had destined for me would never come to pass. And the Lord showed me how what he did was, I saw Jesus in the vision. He just came out of nowhere, like literally out of nowhere. He just showed up and I'm on the ground asphyxiating. He didn't even say anything to me. He just reaches down and he just begins to break the chains off me like they're nothing. The chain that was on my back, he just took it off and broke it. It was nothing. He took the ones that were on my wrists that had been there my whole life. He just broke the chains off like they were nothing. They were nothing to him. He just breaks them. He's taking them. And after a few minutes of him just breaking these chains, he just picks me up off the ground. And he said to me, he said, "You're free." He said, "I freed you." He said, "You can do what you want with your life. You can live it. I freed you. You have your freedom. Go. You can do what you want, or you can follow me." And the Lord showed me that in my life, I chose to follow him.